of National, Pennsylvania, in Lawrence County, Pomona, and Liberty Grange in Newcastle. Thank you for inviting the Grange to the table at America's Rural Energy Coalition 2023 National Conference. I've been asked to speak today on behalf of the Grange, also known as the Patrons of Husbandry. The Grange is a fraternal family organization. Our roots are in agriculture, and most of our members live in rural communities, and at one time, many were farmers. But as you may know, less than 2% of the American population are active farmers today. So while many farmers are part of our organization, the majority of our membership is made up of rural and urban residents. The Grange mission is to help members grow as individuals, unify their communities, and create opportunity through legislation and community service. We were established in 1867, which means that we've been advocating for farmers and rural families throughout the United States on many issues for 156 years. These issues have included affordable access to high-speed broadband in rural areas, sustainable and affordable health care, as well as making sure rural schools can provide the same quality education as urban districts. National Grange has been working to improve agriculture in America and the welfare of those who work the soil or care for the creatures of the field. Let me begin by saying that the Grange is not against solar energy. We support practical, safe, environmentally friendly, clean energy solutions. All states have different situations and the need for specific local regulations, but one thing we agree on nationally is for the preservation of Class 1 and Class 2 farmland and on lands used for the production of hardwoods. By definition, Class 1 lands are nearly level and have no risk of erosion, and soil depth is easy to work. They hold water very well and are rich in fertility. Use of fertilizers in lime and cover crops, use of crop rotation is required to maintain soil fertility and soil structure. Class 2 farmlands have limitations which constitute a continuous minor management problem or may cause lower crop yields compared to Class 1. They hold moisture well and can be managed and cropped with little difficulty. Regulations need to be written with safety in mind. Some states are farther ahead in this area. Different states have different needs, but all should consider the protection of precious farmland and the safety of people, animals, and wildlife nearby. Our country certainly does not want to make the same mistakes of the past, such as with limestone and coal mining and natural gas. We need regulations that will ensure that land is restored to previous or better condition upon termination of a solar contract. There needs to be bonding to protect the landowner from any corrections that will need to be made in the years ahead. Another important point to consider is who will be responsible for the maintenance of the systems. Can we be sure that the maintenance will not be deducted from the landowner's royalties? How will the existence of solar panels and other equipment affect the property value of that land and the values of other property in the community, which also affects the tax base? How much additional land is needed for that infrastructure, and how might it be compromised? These are just a few of the many questions that need to be considered. Other questions are, is grazing near and under solar panels safe for animals and people? Have there been enough studies done that can assure us that the animals are not compromised in any way? Will long-term exposure affect meat or milk products? How does the presence of large fields of solar panels affect migratory birds and other wildlife? Are the panels that are in our fields and on our roofs environmentally safe? Are the components of these panels recyclable? Some companies claim that they are, but there are always some parts that are considered hazardous material. There are 3 main levels of solar panel, or types of solar panels: silicon, cadmium telluride, and copper indium gallium selenide. The latter are not used as much anymore, and some types are more recyclable than others. So the point is that solar energy is not completely clean. That's a big misconception in the public. Many farmers in Pennsylvania, and particularly Western Pennsylvania, have been approached, and some might say pressured, by solar companies and offered large sums of money to entice their participation. More often than not, these companies do not have an exit plan in place or spelled out. When the panels are no longer working, the farmer is often left with a mess in the field with no means of removing the parts. And it's been around long enough that we've seen this happen. Roof panels are a little less trouble to remove, but there is still the problem of recycling. When it comes time to renew leases, are the companies being fair to the landowner, or are the rules being changed? We have been told that many of these leases can be as long as 40 pages in length. So it is very important that before a landowner signs an agreement, that they contact an attorney who specializes in solar leases. There is also the concern of maintaining safety when adding the stored energy into the grid. Are the battery storage units that capture the solar power safe and recyclable? The industry does seem to be moving in a better direction to find batteries that meet those requirements. Through trial and error, lithium batteries have shown to be a poor choice, causing many fires on roofs and in cars. A company in the Pittsburgh area has been working on zinc bromide batteries, which seem to be a better choice for recycling and storage of solar energy. The landowner wants to be assured that the unit on the property is not going to start any fire or leak into the soil. According to a company that monitors solar issues, root causes of solar panel malfunction are 1/3 by fire, 12% from vandalism, and 47% from weather damage. In fairness, only about 5 in 10,000 solar panels fail. There needs to be regulations to keep everyone safe in regards to placing solar energy into the main grid. As the wife, mother, aunt, and friend of many line workers and substation personnel that maintain the integrity of the grid, I have personal reasons to care about safety. There are definitely positive applications of solar energy. Closed systems for small communities seem safer than feeding multiple stored solar units into the main power grid. Solar farms, when planned with safety and recycling in mind, can be beneficial. Small, closed solar communities might be easier to maintain. This might be safer and reduce the dependence on the grid. It is important to evaluate solar applications and work together to make sure that they are safe for the environment and the community. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture statistics, Pennsylvania has more farmers under the age of 35 than any other state. Land use for the future is important and affects multiple generations regarding food security and natural resources. Farmers and landowners who enter into long-term leases need to have a guarantee of how their land will be restored back to its original condition or better when the lease is up. Millions of dollars have been spent on ag conservation, but are the regulations being written to ensure safety and environmentally friendly solutions for solar energy applications? And what about child labor in other countries regarding the mining of materials needed for the manufacturing of solar panels and other equipment? There are many issues that need to be explored if we are going to develop safe, practical solar energy solutions for our country. The Grange looks forward to helping develop legislation that will ensure safety for all and financial protection for landowners. Farmers consider themselves stewards of the land. They work at making it better and take the responsibility of that land very seriously. Sometimes that means even to let it rest for a while. We want to work for a clean environment. We want to find clean, practical, and safe energy solutions, and look forward to partnerships that will help facilitate that goal, that are fair to all parties involved. Thank you for your